Hello everybody, this is BC94XYZ, and this is a review for the incredible detective game LA Noire. It took me a second there to realize how to pronounce the title. Anyway, so this is a very, very interesting game, in all honesty. There really isn't a game in the video game industry that is like this. This was, in a sense, a very, very unique experience as a gamer. And the reason why that is because of the way that the cases present themselves and the way that you're supposed to solve them. There really isn't a game that is so clue-based oriented and is so definitive on your decisions throughout the game. There really isn't a game like that is this dependent on your decisions as LA Noire proves itself to be. And you have this detective who is Cole Phelps, who starts off as a police officer and then gets promoted to a bunch of things, and then of course there's the ending, which I'm not going to get into. But it just, put it this way, LA Noire is not for the faint of heart. It is a very bloody game. It's a very sad game. It's a game. That's kind of expected. I mean, you're playing a detective who's trying to solve murder cases. I mean, it's not a happy game at all. And then, of course, the whole story behind Cole Phelps is extremely depressing as well, and very, very sad. So, of course, it's not a very happy game. It's not a game that I would sit down with my kids and say, check this out, until they're like maybe 16. But it just confronts you with sad situation after sad situation after sad situation, which just keeps getting more and more brutal and more intense each time. And it really makes you, it doesn't make you nauseous necessarily, but it really makes you depressed, and you can only take a certain amount of cases at a time. So after one case, usually you're like, okay, I've had enough, which is okay. That's not a bad thing, But on the other hand, the thing about LA Noire that really, really is such an impressive aspect of the game is the fact that Rockstar Games really did make an incredibly, almost exact replica of Los Angeles from 1940. It's extremely, extremely realistic. And just, from the fact that you're driving around in your cars to the fact that, the apartment buildings to, just everything looks so much like... It makes you feel like you are in Los Angeles in 1940. And that's, I think, one of the best parts of LA Noire, is the fact that you really do feel like you are in Los Angeles in 1940, and that you are in this time period, and that you've been part of this time period for a very long time. It really feels like that, and that's what's really cool about the game. There's no such thing as DNA scanning, there's no such thing as any kind of, modern crime stuff that you see on CSI nowadays, which, to be honest with you, actually is not entirely accurate, or so I've heard anyway. But it's really interesting, I mean, 1940s was a big turning point for Los Angeles. It was a big turning point for the United States in general, and I think they really, especially for Hollywood and stuff like that, and I really think that they pull that together quite nicely, in all honesty, what do you call it? And again, like I was saying, I think it's really... Rockstar really, really paid attention to all the small, intricate details of every single case. It was so specifically oriented that literally, if you missed one thing, you could not progress. And it could be the smallest thing in the world. It could be a matchbook. and you look inside and you see, oh, there's the bar, and now I have to, investigate this bar, like that kind of thing. It's extremely detail heavy, and that's what's great about it, I think, is that they literally do not let you progress until you see everything, and I think that's really cool. Some of the negatives I would say about this game, the mechanics were very strange. I liked the idea of, the interview process, in the sense of, you have to determine whether or not they're lying, telling the truth, or if you want to doubt because you don't have any proof. You want to, rough them up a bit. I like that mechanic. I think the journal is a very, very cool aspect of the game. What I didn't like about the game was the mechanics when you were playing as Cole Phelps. I think the car mechanics for Rockstar games has always been a really, really bad problem, which is interesting because you'd think that would be one of the easier factors, but clearly it's not. Although they did improve that, in Grand Theft Auto 5, but the mechanics in this game were not great. Cole Phelps, I felt, was just it's just walking and running so unnaturally, in a very unrealistic aspect, in the sense of he would just start sprinting randomly out of he would just start, not when you press the sprint button, he would just start sprinting really, really fast, and then when you stop pressing it, he would just kind of stop, as opposed to the whole idea of build up and slow down. You know what I mean? So I think that was cool. I think the idea of the mechanics of the gun were okay. There was just, again, the detail. I think what makes this game the best, or what really shows off this game's incredible aspects, is the cases themselves and how detail-oriented they are. Because literally, they went to the point where blood splatter on the sidewalk was extremely well noticeably detailed, and they had taken a long time to create something like that. You know what I mean? They had taken a long time to make sure that they correctly oriented every single drop of blood on the sidewalk. You know what I mean? It's aspects like that make the game extremely appealing, and the environment itself is also extremely appealing. I'm going to tell you right now, even during my walkthrough, I did not get to the majority of the map. The majority of the map is very left unblank. I guess left unblank. What the hell? Left blank. In the sense of, you can go there if you want, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And I think that's really cool. It gives you a lot of freedom, and I decided to do a walkthrough of just all the main cases. There are some people out there that do walkthroughs and decided to do the side cases as well. I didn't feel like doing the side cases. I tried them beforehand, and I wasn't really interested. But this one was a very good aspect of that, and I think it's really cool. That you are able to have this much freedom with the map, and the map is like all Rockstar games. The map is just absolutely giant, so you could really just go and do whatever you want, and it's great. It's a great game. So what's the verdict? The verdict is basically the verdict is I would definitely pick this up. This is a must-have game for any console that you own, 360, PS4, PC, it doesn't matter what it is. This is a must-have game for anybody, because this is a game that really does represent one of the best games of last generation, aka 360, PS3. So, some of the bad things are, of course, the fact that, the mechanics are a little weird. One thing I didn't mention before is that the early investigations leave you with very, very limited things to do. I think that is really a big problem because in the beginning, when you're just a cop, you kind of really don't do anything except chase people down in your car, which is okay to me. But, you know, there's kind of this weird. There's this weird another bad thing about it. There's this weird backstory between Cole and this other guy who you end up playing later on in the game, and it has to do with World War II, and it's very weird. It's a very, very odd backstory that doesn't really fit the game, and it doesn't really make sense to me why Rockstar put that part in there. I mean, I understand it's like to show Cole Phelps in the war, but I don't really think it fits the game. That's not what they kind of made it like a transition between cases, when in reality it shouldn't really have been that way. I mean, I didn't really get that whole backstory, and it just felt misplaced. It felt like they kind of threw it in for the hell of it, for like World War II veterans or something. But on the other hand, it's the good. What you should buy the game for is the fact that it is a detective game. It is one of the few detective games on any console of this nature, and it feels so incredible, and it feels like you were really in 1940 Los Angeles, and that's one of the best things I think that you can think about this game. The map is incredible, the design is incredible, the atmosphere itself is incredible. They really did a great job with it. The game played well. There were very, very little glitches, very little choppiness. The investigation portion of the game was just an incredible feature that I think more games should have that. Like, in all honesty, allow you to choose your own dialogue. I think that'd be really cool. I like that it's very decision heavy, because other games you just kind of like move forward, and this is really cool. It's a very memorable case story. Weird case story, but it is memorable. And there are some really, really, really cool cases. I think that they really did a great job with the design of the cases and the amount of detail that they put into the cases. It really shows, and I think it's really, really cool how each case kind of progresses, and that much alone is worth purchasing L.A. Noire. I think the cases alone are worth purchasing L.A. Noire. And, of course, I didn't mention this, but the use of the motion capture, the new motion capture system is really cool, and they really, really paid a lot of attention to detail with faces, and I really like that. That's really good, because they don't usually do that much detail with the faces in most games nowadays. And it was really cool to see the new motion capture. But, so that's L.A. Noire. I would give this one definitely a list of must-have games. I'd put this on a list of must-have games for any console that you own, whether it be PC, 360, PS3. It's a great game, and I really hoped y'all enjoyed watching my walkthrough of it, and I really hope y'all enjoy the game. It's a really good game. So, thank you guys for listening to this review of L.A. Noire, a superb game with superb detail and superb cases and superb everything, basically, with the exception of some things. But, again, thank you for watching. Hit that like button if you like these videos. Keep me posted, and I will see you all later. BC9 for XYZ out.